50 Cent's fights for custody amid Diddy's accusations. Oh my God, this Diddy story, they're coming, but 50 Cent is involved. The only thing we knew about how 50 Cent was involved up to this point was basically him being petty, dragging him alongside all of the news stories that is breaking out about Diddy. I mean, at this point, it's pretty safe to say Diddy is going to have a very hard time for the next several years. Okay, it's not going to get better. But anyway, how's 50 Cent coming into this? 50 Cent. Is it 50 Cent or 50 Cents? Which one is it? Anyway, 50 Cent is involved in all of this. Let me see the right spelling for that. 50 Cent's baby mother. Okay, you won't see where I'm coming from with this one. Okay, it's 50 Cent with no S. 50 Cent is a 48-year-old man. He's not no babies. I don't think he cares that he's 48 years old man. There's a lot of things about 50 Cent that I've admired in terms of his business moves over the years. But you know, coconut head in general, pride in general, is dangerous. And this is playing out right now. Let me read this story to you really quickly, because this is gonna get really, really dirty very fast. All right, so what we have here is on Jasmine Brand, a report saying, according to reports, rapper turned media mogul 50 Cent is now seeking sole custody of the child he shares with Daphne Joy, some lady called Daphne Joy. An insider shared with a publication, and I quote, given the latest developments and news of Daphne Joy's involvement in Diddy lawsuit, 50 is going for sole custody of his son. Reportedly, 50 Cent, born Curtis Jackson, and the socialites briefly dated between 2011 and 2012. The former couple called things off following the birth of their son, Sire, now 12 years old. Recently, Rodney Little Rod Jones amended the $30 million lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, hiding new information that accused Daphne Joy and young Miami real name Carisha Brownlee of being paid monthly to serve as sex workers for the record executive. Initially, following reports of the allegations, 50 Cent took to his Instagram and wrote, "I didn't know you was a sex worker. You little sex worker. LOL. Yo, this shit is a movie." Diddy has previously denied the claims from Little Rod via a statement released by his legal team that said Little Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit, shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. His reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner headlines. We have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Full story on Jasmine Brand. Anyway, really what I wanted to extract out of this story is just 50 Cent. 50 Cent, the story I had before, I'm not sure how true it is, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna say allegedly, is that he wanted a son. I don't know where I got it from. Look, it's just allegedly. He wanted another child because his first son, who is now maybe 25, 26, 27 years old, looks exactly like 50 Cent. He's, since last time I checked, he does not want to mess with that son anymore. He's disowned that son after paying child support for so many years to the mother. This was a son that he had just before he broke out as 50 Cent that we know today. So then he created this baby with this, allegedly with this young lady. And really what I want to extract from this is some of these new woke ideas that we're coming up with. You know, there are some things that are becoming obsolete. There's no doubt about that. But the family structure is really there to protect you. The street does not love anybody. Okay? I don't know if this is telling you that, but let me just share with you. The street loves nobody. Okay? If you're going to be out there creating new rules, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But it's like me telling you there's nothing wrong with swimming against the tide, swimming against the ocean, right? Sure, as long as you know what you're doing. As long as you know what you're doing, that's all I can say. Well, let's start with that. That's not all I can say. If you're going to swim against the trend of the ocean, you better know what you're doing, because you might just drown completely. And it doesn't matter how powerful you are. 50 Cent is recognized as a very powerful figure in entertainment today, but so was P. Diddy. So was Puff Daddy. So was many, many other figures. So was R. Kelly in the world of R&B. That was the king of R&B until so I'm looking at this. I say, okay, you want to create a baby, there's nothing wrong, we're just going to co-parent. Listen, if from a circumstances standpoint that happens, it's okay. You have to co-parent. That's the next best thing you're left with if a relationship does not work out. That's perfectly fine. But deliberately creating babies and creating children out of wedlock because you think you can, I think it's dangerous. If it's circumstances, maybe you're getting older and you feel like, okay, relationship is not happening, and ladies, maybe you have like an egg or something, you want to, I can't judge you. In fact, overall, I'm not going to judge, right? I'm just saying, let's be careful when we're creating, because as much as we say, some of us say it because it sounds sweet. It sounds like, oh, we're progressive. It's not backward, right? Quote unquote backward, right? It sounds like all of that, right? But when you really start to think deeper, I think nature is nature for a reason. It's our equilibrium. No matter how far we go back out, which we tend to do that because we're human beings and we're social beings, we're trying new things out, right? No matter how much you try to go far back out from what nature prescribes or what we know as norm, just try to know what you're doing, because you're going to drown, okay? You're probably going to drown. Most likely going to drown. If you know what you're doing, you don't have to drown. You might just be the exception, the eccentric. Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to sit here and judge you or tell you that there hasn't been people that are just weird and survived and they became the greatest prophets. There are people like that, but they happen to be the exception. For the most part, when you push against what is called the normal nature, you're probably going to drown in all of that. And I see the correlation here is that if in fact that's what 50 Cent did, having babies, and he thinks like spreading your seeds all over the place, spreading your energy all over the place like that, I think it's always a bad idea. All right, it's just a lot more harder for you to contain and have things under control, right? So I would say whatever it is that we're doing, if it involves life and death, you want to do that within a controlled environment. If you don't do that within a controlled environment, as human beings, we're not your mate. Human beings are not your mate. Okay? What is going to end up happening is that there's another person involved. They can drag your life. Yes, they can drag your life straight in the mud. You don't control that. You don't control everything. All right, that's what I'm getting out of this. I don't know if the actual story that he wanted to just create a baby is true. I'm just saying it reminds me of a lot of people coming up with new rules. Let's just pretend that time is not a thing. Let's just pretend that it's those two people, I can control them. No, you can't control anything outside of yourself. So if you're going to do any kind of collaborative thing with another human being, I think you should consider having doing that within some kind of controlled environment. The family unit is one of those. Okay, and that's what I advocate for. That's what I encourage you to do. If you can't, if for some reason you try the family thing and it didn't work out, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people that deliberately, or people that are teaching people to deliberately do things outside of the family structure. I'm saying they're there. Let's borrow ourselves brain. I think all of that in the next 5 to 10 years here, you're going to see a lot of things backfiring. Look at what's happening with Diddy right now. There's a lot of secrets that are going to come out from 20, potentially 25, 30 years ago. try to have your life in order and do things. If it's going to involve sex, life, death, you probably should do that within controlled environment, because other people are involved. Let's be careful. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think? What do you disagree with? What do you agree with? I want to know everything in the chat, so we can continue the conversation. Not so you can say I disagree to disagree, so we can continue the conversation. Okay, we don't have to agree, we already know that, but let's continue the conversation. All right, cheers. Do me a favor, hit that like button, turn up your notifications so you're notified whenever we go live. I'll be back in 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All right, I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.